Dun, dun, dun. I think we are
We are
good.
live. Hey, we're back in live. Hey, this time it has not been a long time. You and I got live yesterday. That was a great time. We had a great conversation about some important stuff and why Texit is something people shouldn't be sleeping on. Did you see the chart I just posted about 5 minutes ago?
Huh? Which was it in the Telegram?
On Dex Trade, Texit's the number one fastest mover in the last 24 hours, and it's
Wow.
rocking up again over 20%. It's just I don't understand why people are sleeping on this. I mean, I'm not convinced. I'm not sure why they are. But anyway, without further ado, today we are changing the subject a little bit. We believe that Bobby's got a great plan to grow the mine. And in order to do so, it's impossible for him to do it on his own. So he had to build some kind of incentive structure, right? So there are some incentives for people to help grow the mine. That's exactly what we're doing and why you're doing it. And you can do it for your own personal reasons, or you can do it because you're passionate about the project and where it's going. But there are some incentives, and we won't get into the incentives so much now, or maybe later on at the back end. But today I'm excited to be here with my good buddy Mike Healy. This guy's got a track record like no one's business in a wide variety of marketing, affiliate marketing. He's great at branding. His mind just goes straight to, genius marketing level at all times, no matter the platform. So I always respect him a lot. And I want to interview him today for your benefit because, there's a masterclass lesson here waiting for you. So why don't we dig into this, Mike, and we can start light and get into the heavy. But, when you started thinking about whether or not you wanted to share this project and help grow the mine, like what were the first things that went through your head? Did you see this as being challenging, that you have to put on like your best effort, or did you see this as something kind of easy?
I saw it as something simple. I wouldn't quite call it easy at the same time.
Fair.
But because of the projects I didn't been in before, I realized that, really anything over, I've been doing like direct selling, networking, affiliate marketing, whatever you want to call it, for 30 years. Almost primarily the entire time has been full-time as far as a full-time income with it. Like I've learned to automate everything to make things easier, more efficient, scalable, that kind of stuff. And those are, simple terms that marketers would know. And when I saw this, I realized that if you just tell a story enough to enough people are going to say yes. And the thing is I always look at stuff myself, and if it makes sense to me, I'm assuming there's enough crazy people out there, they're going to see it like I did and like you did, Terry. And so yeah, I got excited about it because I already liked node projects that we'd been in before. This was pre me knowing anything about what a node or mining was. And I got an audio message from a friend of mine. This was 4 years ago, that said, "Hey, I don't know what you're doing with your money. My wife and I, we've been doing some stuff in gold and silver. We've got some stocks. We do a little real estate, but we're really excited about this new crypto project. I'd love to have a chat with you about it." And that was it. That was literally the audio message he left on Facebook Messenger. And my wife had heard me play it out loud, Stacy. And she said, "Well, why don't you just give him a call and hear him out?" I'm like, "Well, okay, whatever." And I heard him out. And then after that, I was like, oh my gosh. But then after I started to see people that have been in this space, digital currency and stuff like yourself, who got super jacked about it, I was more like, okay, I don't need to know everything. I just need a few things. I need to direct people to this info, and everything else is going to take care of itself. And I know you did, and I did. We made a lot of money in that project, and it is even remotely close to as easy. It was as easy to make money as it is in this thing. Like Texit's got me, comical money, because I've worked projects and companies back in the day that I would have to have thousands of people come on board to make the money with a handful that we're making now. Like it's just mind numbing in a good way. I wake up excited every day now. I'm having a tough time sleeping and not getting up at 4 a.m. because I want to start, talking and texting and stuff. So anyhow,
those charts going up all the time. Is that it?
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to see those charts going up for sure. But it just makes sense because all it is, and I think this is the biggest problem people have. And and if you're watching this, you're doing a good thing. You're going to get educated. And just so you know, both Terry and I have both made millions of dollars collectively over our years in this space, in the direct selling networking space. And to me, I never wanted to, I didn't dream about being a networker, an affiliate marketer. That wasn't what I daydreamed about. I saw this as a vehicle, as a way to feed my three little kids. I had three little kids, and I was coming out of the bar business as pretty much a broke alcoholic bartender bouncer. That's literally how I got started in the industry. But what I realized was it's just advertising dollars that are being put into use. That's all it is. That's literally all it is. But the power and why people, I just don't understand why people don't get this, is this model is so much more, is stronger for a company because they acquire a customer before the advertising dollars are spent. Whereas like any traditional a company, they advertise by spending maybe $100,000 in a month to hopefully acquire a customer. But in affiliate marketing, they're just paying us to be the marketing arm. And if we get rewarded for getting somebody to buy whatever we're saying. I don't think anybody hardly knows this, besides you, Terry. I'm an Amazon influencer. Like I randomly saw that one time that somebody could make review videos on Amazon. And I mean, I've sold millions and millions of dollars worth of products online, and all these products are sent to me for free. It was just something I saw, and I'm like, okay, so I can make a video. If I like the product, I talk good about it. I make a video, put it on there, and if somebody goes to Amazon, sees my video, and buys it, I get a percentage. I mean, not rocket science. So I've been just doing this kind of stuff, to just make a better lifestyle. That's really all it is to me. Is like my whole goal is to be as lazy as possible. I got to bust my butt a little bit every once in a while. But to me, the goal is to go sit by my pool every day, and you can see I'm kind of sunburned from being out there all day yesterday. So anyhow,
the weather's not even hot over there. The weather's not.
I don't care. I'm in Ohio, man, and when it's been in the single digits a while ago. My pool was 58 degrees, and I was getting in and I was swimming. It hurt, but I was doing it. So anyhow, go ahead, Terry.
Very cool. Well, I know you've had a lot of success also, in the info product space, on the Amazon space, and various other businesses as well. So I appreciate your perspective all around. But when it comes to something like this model, a lot of people are getting their heads, right? They're like, yeah, but I'm not an expert on this. What if they ask me these bad questions? What if they ask me about stuff I don't know about? And I would argue, and it's just because a mentor told me years ago, and I'm sure I'd love to hear just your comments on the general statement. He said, listen, if you want to make money, all you got to do is get enough people in front of an effective presentation. He didn't say you had to do the presentation, right? And in this case here, especially if people are new to crypto and blockchain and the Texit itself and that kind of stuff. What do you say to those people that are in their heads about, I got to know about this stuff. I got to be the expert. I got to,
I respectfully say this, and I say this on all the trainings I ever do on this subject, is I try to stay as dumb as possible. Right. And I keep it like that on purpose. I mean, I'll give you a real world case scenario. I did a referral program that was in the commercial energy space where you would refer, and I literally was in it for 4 years. I was the number 2 money earner in the company. And I could not possibly tell you what a kilowatt even meant. Nice. And people they would ask me, and I'm like, I have no idea. And they're like, come on. I'm like, dude, that is not what I get paid to do. So that's the thing, is I don't get paid to get smart. I get paid to get someone to purchase the product or service. And that's the thing, is a lot of people think they get paid to be smart or how much time they put into it. And that's not what I focus on. I focus on staying as simple as possible, encouraging people with plenty of enthusiasm to just look at something or hear something. That is it. And I know that's hard because I remember like the first company I was ever in, I used to tag around like a puppy, the top money earners. I literally, because I'm that guy that if I want an answer, I will get the answer. And I would ask the same guys the same questions every single meeting. What are you doing to do this? And they would say, well, I just, I went to the mini mart and we had coffee and I gave him a little presentation. I asked him if I practice on him. I'm like, that's it. I go, and I kept thinking there was this magic thing that these people were doing that can't be true. They're doing something behind closed doors that I don't know. They got a magic wand. They're slipping them Mickeys or whatever it might, they're roofie and their buddies, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't that. It was everybody did everything different because everybody has a different personality. But the ones that I saw that were the most successful was they basically were the most consistent at keeping the averages. I mean, I've told this story in the last training. Some of you guys may have already heard this training, but at a top money earners event, I was in one of my companies. We were out there and I went around at the dinner party, and I interviewed everybody as fast as I could. I'd be like, let's say I walked up to you, Terry. I say, hey, Terry, what's the number one thing you'd attribute to your success? And I had a little pen and paper with me. Even though I was one of the top guys, I was like, I'm going to make use of this time. And I wrote this down. And without question, after a 3-hour period of probably interviewing maybe 50, 60 people, the only thing that I could identify was the common denominator was they were all consistent. That was it. The number one guy said, as he was getting on a bus, he was the last guy I said this to. He says, oh, that's easy, Mike. I swing the bat as many times as I have to. Occasionally I get a hit. Every once in a while I hit one out of the park. And I was like, dude, that was gold. That was it. I've said that phrase a million times now, probably, because it's just, I never, and you're probably going to ask me some of this and just interrupt me because I will sure. Ramble. I typically don't answer questions. I send people info that answers questions. And I think that's the hardest thing for people to understand is because I understand that I'm dealing with human people now. Has nothing to do with products or services. It's the psychology of how people operate. And if somebody asks me a question about, well, what's the utility of this coin? I don't even know what utility means, right? Utilities to me are, toilet and electricity, right? That's a utility. But if somebody asks that, I know I heard it. I don't necessarily want to dismiss that it might be something that gets them over the hump to join. But I find the tool that answers it. Now, here's the thing. Even if I know even if I finally learned that, I still answer them with a tool that does the work for me because I don't want my new person to think they have to know anything before they take action. Because, I can prove it to you over my years of doing it. I've done a bunch of companies and I've done them well. And the majority of people sponsor or enroll the majority of their personals, their key people, within the first 30 to 60 days of their business. How much do they know in that period? Squat. All it is enthusiasm. They're excited about something and they told enough people about it. And those people are like, I don't know what Mike's babbling about, but I'm going to take a look just because he seems excited. That's literally the key is if you use enthusiasm will overcome everything. I promise you, enthusiasm will overcome everything, and just staying consistent with the numbers and then not worrying about having to know everything to be an expert. Just share a tool with somebody. That's how I answer every question. I created a training page for everybody to use. How do I get a Coinbase wallet? Great question. Here's a video. How does my back office work? Great question. Here's a video. So I always make videos that I think people ask questions for because I can do that now. But I set it up so that everybody can win because we can scale 1,000 times faster by not trying to create these experts and just letting people go out there and run with scissors is what I call it. Just here's scissors, go run with them, see what happens.
I love that you said that because I've always been saying answer every question with a resource. I've been saying that for years. And that's what I do. I even answer the questions I get. I try to with a resource, even if I'm the one who created it, but I'm showing them that there's a link somewhere. So if they're ever asked this question, they can go find that link and just share it. So they know that I'm capable of answering it, but I still try and grab the resource. I try not to be evasive. I don't want them to feel like I'm avoiding them or playing some game with them, but I'm like, you know what? Listen, there's a video that answers that. Let me just hand it over to you and take a look.
Yeah. And there's a time there is obviously a time and a place to get somebody on a 3-way and stuff like that. I don't ever think that I dismiss those. But even if somebody gets me on a phone call with somebody, it's usually just to edify that person as maybe somebody who's been in longer. They can back up some of the experiences. That's typically it. Like, you got me on the phone with Mitch, right? Mitch had been in a while. Mitch was just, he appeared to be just a laid back average guy, which is perfect, right? That's exactly what you want. He just answered some basic questions. There was no hype. He actually said a couple times, "I don't know the answer." Great answer.
It's fine.
There's nothing wrong with saying I don't know. I say it all the time. I happily admit I don't know, and I probably won't figure it out on purpose.
I don't know. All I know is.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is, oh, by the way, the other thing too that I did learn the hard way. So these are all experiences I've done, both good and bad, by the way, is that if you, the reason I like to use resources also is because when you have 3 or 4 people that you've gotten in on your team, and maybe you've got them, and you just tell them constantly, "Hey, if you got a question, call me. If you got a question, call me. If you got a question, call me." You start to duplicate that. That becomes the model, because people are going to do what you do, not what you say. But what happens is you become what I call it the queen bee syndrome. And I've watched people do this in businesses where I would just join and they would say, "Well, go call this person, call this person, call this person." And then I would meet those people, and eventually they would get completely burned out and weren't doing the business and weren't growing their business anymore, because they couldn't field all of the phone calls that they had told people to call them with. And I'm like, that makes no sense. You can't scale a business like that. You can't really grow, and no one's learning anything if it's just you. So I've always just created tools or found tools, resources that answer the questions that take the heavy lifting off of me, so that I can have some fun. That's basically it.
So Mike, how do you normally peak interest? Do you normally post it on your social media? Do you usually DM them with a text? Do you like sending voice text? Do you send them an email? Do you literally dial people you haven't talked to in a long time? I think I don't think peaking interest is hard, and I don't think sending links is hard. Copy and paste is hard. I think people overthink that very step right there. What are some of the ways that you like to do that, or you've seen that's effective?
Okay, I'm going to do it live for you right now.
Dig it.
All right. So I love pulling up Facebook Messenger because you can leave audio messages.
I love audio messages.
And the reason I do this is because that got me into a company that I made a ton of money on. Made sense, right? So I got a lady named Sandy. Okay, I'm going to do this call right now. I'll show you what I do. So I haven't thought this out, haven't done anything. And just so you know, the most important thing is not the words of the song, is how you sing the song, right? So here we go. Hey, Sandy, Mike Healy, how the heck are you? Hope all is good. I know we haven't communicated in a while, but hey, I know you're always looking for ways to make money. I came across a project, it's got me super fired up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a screenshot, because I know you're, pro crypto, I believe. You might not be, but I'm pretty sure. I think I saw you post something one time. I'm going to send you a screenshot of the growth. It's absolutely insane. Then I'm going to send you also a short video to take a look at it. And I think after that, if you got more questions, I can send you a handful of more videos. But anyhow, just take a look. If it looks good, great. Just reply back. Otherwise, no big deal. Appreciate it. Thanks. Off the message goes. Okay. Now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to find the image. So the image I send is, take a wild guess.
Did you hear that sound?
The growth chart. So I screenshotted just one of the growth charts.
Right.
This one shows it at $1. So I send that. So I just sent that. And then I find a video on my YouTube channel, or actually I'm going to send them the landing page. So I'm going to send them the landing page that everybody should have that's been following the stuff I do. So let me find that real quick. All right.
Mike, did you hear that sound of a baseball? I heard it sound like a baseball.
It went out of the park?
Yeah, it sounded like it.
There you go. So guess what? All I did was I sent that image, and I did that. Now, how hard was that? Okay, so here's what this is what I do. I take a piece of paper. I go old school. I have an old little tiny notebook. I have a pen. And what my objective has always been is to like make a certain amount of contacts in a day. I mean, some days
How
I
many?
miss
What's a rough number that
10.
you think is good? 10.
10.
Okay.
I like that. I've always, because 10 is obtainable. I have to push just a little bit to make it happen, but it's not such a big number that I feel like a defeatist if I get 5, right? 5's good. You could say that. So I always make a number that I know I'm capable of doing, but not too big that and I always, and the thing is, I get more excited about the 10 contacts than I care about someone enrolling. Because I did learn a long time ago, super, super important. I'll slow down and make sure you understand it, is to learn to embrace I just blanked on there. The process. I learned to become process focused versus outcome focused because it's the process that makes it happen. And I'll give you some kind of technical things. Is one of my favorite movies of all time is Moneyball, the baseball movie about how they used the statistics and stuff. Billy Bean and those guys had they were going against the highest paid, highest ranking ball club, which was the New York Yankees, and they were the lowest one, Oakland Athletics, and they had like hardly any budget. And this guy said, hey, you're not trying to buy ball players. You should be trying to buy wins. And in order to buy wins, you got to buy runs. And it just popped for me when I watched that, because I'm like, this is exactly my business. Is they learned there's what they call, and this is, I've had some marketing guys tell me this is, there's lead indicators and lag indicators. Lag indicators is when you log into your back office and you see that somebody enrolled and you get all excited. But if you can't figure out how that guy got there or that girl got there, you can't duplicate that. You just sit there puzzled and go, wow, that's cool. Somebody joined my business.
Finally worked.
So I learned that the most important part of the game is the beginning part of just the introduction. What I just did, repeated multiple times, can make you a millionaire, because I've done it over and over and over and over and over.
Mike, let me ask you this, genuinely, sincerely, are you going to go to bed tonight stressed, losing sleep, if Sandy has not called you back before you go to bed today?
No. I'll forget I talked to her in an hour.
How attached are you to anybody that you're talking to, whether they like what you sent them or not like what they sent them?
Zero. I don't take it personal. I don't care. Picture yourself, picture you as a guest at a dinner party and someone's passing around a tray of hors d'oeuvres. If they come by you with a tray of hors d'oeuvres and hand them in front of you, and it's pigs in a blanket and you're allergic to pork, that's not for you. You're going to turn it away, right?
Yep.
The waiter that has that tray is not going to go in the back, throw his tray down, and start crying in the corner because you got an allergy to pork. Ain't going to happen, right? Not happening. So I learned to be that dinner guy, that waiter. I have a tray of hors d'oeuvres. Let's say, what do we got? We got
points.
We got shrimp on the Barbie on here. We got jalapeno poppers on my tray. And some people are going to go, oh, I'll have one, and I try that. And then they'll move on and say, nah, no thanks for me. And then you got somebody that will stand there at your tray and eat the whole tray. It's just the way it is. And people slow their own growth down because they get themselves in the way, because they think they have to be something that they're not. And I just learned I just quit caring a long time ago. Yeah. Detach from the outcome, that you forget you even send a message altogether. Somebody posted that. I'll put that on the screen. Yeah.
It is wise to try and figure out or document or jot down who you contacted, because you do believe in following up, correct? I mean, gently, whether it's okay if they don't like it. Like I'm okay if someone doesn't like it, but I'm never just going to message them only one time.
Okay. Let's talk about the fortune and a follow-up.
Let's do it.
So If I'll give you a perfect example is I've done that process that I just said many times in the last 35 days or whatever since I've been in. But then what I do is like you can't, I'm probably so you can't see it, names on here, but you can see all the little green dots.
Yep.
When I went live with you yesterday, or there would have been a live somewhere else, I might just inbox those people that thing, right?
Yep.
We originally 30 days ago when you introduced this to me, the token price was 47 cents. And I took a screenshot of that because it was still had grown more than it did last month. And I sent that. A couple of weeks later, guess what? Price went up to 80 cents. Take a guess what I did. Took a screenshot, sent it out. How hard is it for me to sit at my pool and take screenshots and text them?
Dude, I use price charts as one of my favorite follow-ups. But what I think the amateurs do, and I'd love your commentary on this, I think they try and build persuasion and buy my shit and here's my link all into that same message instead of just like a little, whoop, you've been missing out. I'm still here when you're ready.
100%. I mean, it's just people, you shouldn't try to get people to, if you're trying to get somebody to just figure out what time it is, you shouldn't tell them how to build your watch in a nutshell. And that happens. And it happens. It comes with enthusiasm. And there's nothing. And the thing is, here's what I will tell you this. Action beats inaction every day of the week. I don't care if you did it wrong. Okay. So no matter what, in my opinion, you can't go wrong if you're just doing something. If you come in and you blow somebody completely out of the water because you sent them a 900-page dissertation from ChatGPT about how crypto works and the history of crypto, and you blew them out of the water and you send them 50 videos, there's still a good chance that person's going to go, Mike's nuts, but he seems pretty fired up about this. I'm going to go look at the chart. And somebody looks at the chart and the chart's going like the side of a mountain. They're going to figure out how to dumb it down and never, ever give other people what you just gave them. But you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. Can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And you can say all the right things, do everything Terry and I teach you throughout this, and the wrong person is not in the mood. It is what it is. I mean, I got friends that have said no in the beginning of this. And I'm like, that's cool. Like, I literally have a friend, and Chad, if you're listening, I'm pointing you out, buddy. Chad was anti-crypto, rightfully so in a lot of ways. A lot of us have every right to, bow out and say we're done. And then I introduced him to this. I sent him a couple snapshots of the thing, short video clips from maybe what Bobby was saying. And he's been putting people in the business by sending them, I think the interview with you and I did with Bobby, that's like an hour and 40 minutes long, right? Like, that doesn't make sense that he says, listen, I'm sending you a long video. Just watch a tiny bit of this thing and tell me what you think. And I was like, that's pretty freaking smart. Because if somebody starts to watch that and you see his enthusiasm rattling off, or same thing, I mean, Terry and I yesterday's live, I think dialed it in. Because I did it on purpose. Hopefully you guys caught this. If you watched it live and you haven't, you need to go to my channel, go to the lives, or I think I just uploaded it on there. That the Terry and I did live a couple days ago would have been yesterday, the 20th, May 20th, doing the video. And I started intentionally at the very beginning with showing the price point. Like, hey, this is the path to 16. Here's the numbers. Here's the chart and stuff like that. If you tell somebody to just go in to a hour-long video and say, just watch the first 3 minutes of this video and tell me if these guys aren't insane. The curiosity alone will get somebody to go, wait a second, I got to take a look at that, right? Think about that. If you just use that video alone and said, these two guys I saw might be nuts, you help me out and just tell me if I'm not crazy. And just watch 3 minutes. It's a long video, but I want you to see if they're nuts. And you watch how we present that, somebody's going to continue to watch that. And then obviously you figured out that Terry and I know how to speak this language in this space. I mean, I had people immediately after this that haven't even reached out to me or contacted me, or maybe I've sent some stuff to, that now they watched it, and they watched yesterday, and immediately after I got off the live, they said, "Hey, I've been on your live. Sign me up. How do I sign up?" Just like that. Yeah. Because it's good content. We walk you through it. And that's why Terry and I do these things, is so you don't have to be the expert, and you'll figure it out. And then eventually, if you want to do your lives and your stuff, have at it, that kind of thing. So anyhow, my second cup of coffee is officially kicked in. I could tell.
Yeah. I got a question for you, Mike. I got a message from a guy who's got good intentions, right? And I won't mention his name, not trying to single him out, because I know he represents a lot of other people. And, he talked to a few people, and a few people have said yes. It's not like everyone's rejecting him, but he made a comment to the effect of, after those three guys, I think there's only two other humans I know that left for me to talk to. What am I supposed to do? What do you say to the people who, I don't know, they get it in their heads that they can only talk to the people they've been talking to lately, regularly, consistently, or maybe they haven't talked to in a couple of years. And I get that there's some discomfort there. We probably all experience a bit of that. But what kind of wisdom would you share to those people?
You want the truth, or you want me to say what somebody would like to hear?
No, Ben, I want to hear what you really think about it.
Honestly, I'd agree with them. I would probably say something like, "Dang, that's a shame," and I would shut up. And here's why. The only reason someone doesn't put forth an effort is they either don't believe that the reward is there, or they don't have a big enough why to do it. Right? Like when I first started my career, one, I hated the bar business. After a while, I was out of control, and I just knew I couldn't live like that. And I just fell in love with my wife, Stacy, my wife of 29 years, and knew that just couldn't be there anymore. So that was my initial, get me out of here. I'll try to figure out a way to replace that income. I don't care what I got to do. And then when I had my first child, which is this little girl, I had a little notepad that would be where I put my little flip chart presentation in. And when I opened it, right at the bottom, there was a picture of my daughter, Alexis, in this little tiny window. And you couldn't tell Daddy that it was too hard to go out there and talk to people, because the kid needed food, right?
I love that, man. I love that.
So, and guess what? I had that same notepad for years, and pretty soon we would take the photo, she would get a little bigger and a little bigger. And then she's got a brother, and now it's her and her brother. And then pretty soon I got 3 little kids in there. And so that, to me, that was it. I learned all my skills and techniques out of desperation. That was it. Like, little kids counting on me, wife's counting on me. Somebody's going to say no, and I'm going to be like, I had a guy tell me this too. The number one guy in the first company got my mind right with this. I was complaining. I'd been in like 3 months and hadn't even enrolled a single person. And he said, he put his arm around me. He goes, "You know what, Mike?" And he was from Kentucky, so I'm going to use a Kentucky accent, even though I know I got one. He's like, he puts his arm around me. He goes, "You know what, Mike? Making a lot of money ain't for everybody. It might not be for you." And I was like, get off me like that. That was a reality check. And then I remember another time, the same guy, probably, I don't know, 6 months later, I complained. And he goes, "Mike, you got kids?" And I go, "Yeah, I got a little girl, da-da-da." He says, "I understand this is pretty hard." He says, "When you get home tonight, because you got to go home, it's going to take you." And I said, yeah. He said, "Make sure you go upstairs, you wake her up, and you tell her your daddy's a quitter." There was no sugarcoating this. This was old school, get your head out of your butt, go do something attitude. And I embraced it. Like, I understand that all success is outside of your comfort zone. Like,
one more time.
All success is outside of your comfort zone. It is a fact. You don't get abs by sitting on the couch, right? You get abs by eating good and doing sit-ups or whatever, right? You don't make a lot of money by thinking about making a lot of money. You get out of your comfort zone and you do the activity that makes sense. Tough love right there. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's what it came down to. Is it was literally just a few of these things over the years that people said to me that got me out of my own head. And again, when you have a strong enough why, you'll do anything. I mean, it's easy. Like, the other thing too is like people that say, well, I don't have the money. That's never the truth. I can prove it to you. Okay. If I walk up to you, Terry, and I ask you I say, hey, I got a business that, for 10 grand, if you get this in this business for 10 grand, you'll be able to make this kind of money. And you're like, man, I just don't have the money. Right? Okay. Example one. I go up to you and say, Terry, I got a buddy that has a brand new 50th anniversary Corvette worth $60,000 that he is lost to the bank, and the bank will give it to you for 10 grand if you can come up with the money by tomorrow.
Boom.
How fast are you going to come up with 10 grand?
Most people find it real quick.
Thank you. Exact same dollar amount, different way of the person's perceived reward. So a lot of times the only reason someone hasn't enrolled is they don't necessarily yet see how they benefit. Oh man, I'm so glad I just said that. Number one thing when speaking to people is not what's in it for you. It's what's in it for them. And you learn to be benefits focused. What is the benefit? Okay, write the word benefit all over your house right now. What is the benefit if I buy a node? What is the benefit if I go listen to this training? What's the benefit? Whenever you address anybody, try to always remember what it is, the bullet point, the item. Like even this live I just sent out, right? I sent out this text in this live to everybody. The thing I said inside that header was learn how to earn free nodes. Benefit. I want free nodes. So I put that right in the title of the thing. How to earn a free node, because you refer 3 in this thing and you get a free one. That's it. That's so anytime you're talking to people, learn to be enthusiastic and what's the benefit, what's in it for them, because they don't care about you. Just so you know. I know that's going to hurt some people's feelings. Terry and I are not going to go around bragging about how we, won the trip necessarily. Won the $5,000, which there's only 4 people that did that, right? I think it's 4 or 5.
Yes.
That kind of thing. That's not what we do. When we're talking to people and we ask them questions, we're always trying to identify what potential problem they have and how what we have to offer solves that solution. That's all money is in the world, by the way, is the larger the problem, the more money they'll pay you to fix it. Period.
All right. Mike, here's a bit of a slightly different question. What do you say to people, and you can give a minute to think about this, how would you approach some of the people that maybe you socialize with, people that are kind of friends, they're not that open-minded, you don't want muddy water with them next time you get together, but you also think that you might have something for them, but you're also okay if they don't do it. How do you frame that message? Do you message those people, the people that you go out to dinner and drinks with, or do you just ignore them and go elsewhere? What do you say to people who are just kind of torn up about, I can't really talk to my buddy that I see down at the bar?
Great question. So in how I typically approach it is, if the way I frame it for myself is, if you knew what I knew now, right? So if you knew about this and didn't tell me, we're going to have a problem later on if I see you driving a Rolls Royce.
Yeah,
you didn't tell me, right? So that's how I really approach it. I just think that, and I don't prejudge anybody, but I typically say something along the lines with, hey, are you pro or anti crypto? That's just something I've learned to ask. Okay. And they're like, well, I dabbled, or, I don't know. I say, I totally can relate. I don't care what the answer was. I can relate. That's my answer. I say, hey, if you don't mind, I'm just going to send you a video I want you to watch. And if it looks cool, I can get you more info, but I think there's going to be something happening here. And obviously, if you you and I both probably missed Bitcoin at $10, right? And so that's how that's exactly what I would say. And that's it. Okay. Now, if the person starts hammering me with questions because they're crypto friendly and stuff, I'm still going to use a little caution and not give them everything, especially if I'm new. I'm going to kind of just play dumb in some instances because, again, I want to be able to give them a tool because I don't want them to know everything, and I want them to use a tool to get them to the answers to somebody else. So it's just that's really all I would say is like I always try to just direct them to see something because a lot of times explaining, that's why I like video because it's a visual, right? It's a visual thing. You can see the chart, you can see that. Or if I'm sitting there, I always have that little screenshot of that graph. I'm going to say, look, I took a screenshot a couple days ago on CoinMarketCap. There it is.
I like that. I like that a lot because I send things like that a lot, but I don't in social settings I'll grab a screenshot on my phone and start the conversation. Because one of the things that I was telling people just recently, I was like, I went out for lunch with a buddy who was having a mind problem around this. I'm trying to think in their shoes right now as I'm asking you questions, right? He's having some of these issues. And I said, listen, how hard is it to send a voice text to a couple people and say, hey, listen, a buddy told me about a crypto project, about a month ago, I threw a little bit of money at it, didn't pay much attention to it. He just slapped me upside the head and he got me to see that it's been doubling every single month. That's okay if you don't like it, but I'm feeling really guilty not telling you right now. I'm not going to sleep so good if I'm not doing it. So all I'm asking you to do is take a look. And if you don't like it, that's okay. But, I just had lunch with him and I was thinking about you. And anyway, I hope all's well and we'll catch up soon. And I was like, is it that hard to do that, to message people? I mean, aren't you doing them a favor anyway?
I mean, Terry, you pro crypto?
Hell yeah.
Found out about a project's doing this.
Hell yeah, send me information. Hurry up. Why didn't you tell me 3 months ago?
Right. And the thing is I use an old one too. They're like, how can I look at it? We'll go to CoinMarketCap, and then when they pull it up and it's typically more, use one from like way back when or whatever.
Even better.
It's
a great question, and I was actually about to lead into that thing because I think maybe it's just the one thing that someone who's new to how we operate we may have just like skipped over a little detail or anything. Once we pique the interest, what you and I are proposing, you tell me if yours is slightly different than mine. I know we're in alignment on most all things, but I teach people, don't overthink it. You're going from short video to maybe a longer video to maybe a 3-way call, and there's a couple other short videos you can send as follow-ups in there. But that's it. Are you suggesting basically the same thing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everybody wants their money to go up. Everybody. That showing that chart gets people's attention. Period. Like I just need to get my foot in the door to maybe drip on somebody. So I use that, and then it just depends on maybe if I know this person, or if they're a crypto person or whatever. If I've known them and I know they probably don't know anything about crypto, I might like send them like a 10-minute video that I explain something in the beginning, or somebody explains in the beginning. If they get it, like I just edited out that first part with you and I on there. I think somebody AI'd our deal yesterday.
Oh, 100%.
And I took that video, I downloaded it and put it on my channel. It's called The Path to 16. Right? Send that to somebody. And then they're going to go like this. I mean, all you got to do too is literally show somebody that chart and say, these guys have a concrete plan to get this thing to $16 by January or February, right? They have a concrete plan. If you want to see the plan, I have a video that explains it. Again, you can't see the wrong thing to the right person.
Yeah, is everyone hearing this? Like, who do you think is going to be angry or be like, no, 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 I'm not interested in what Mike and Terry are proposing or say? It's cool because I did a video, I think it was about last week or whatever. It's called I think it's called the, the Checkmate Plan 20X, right? And that's my idea, right? So, hey, do you want to see the plan? There's a plan in place. That's what I'm trying to tell people. There's a plan in place. Would you like to see it? I made it as concise as I know how to do it. I'll send it to you. And if you don't dig it, that's all right. I mean, who didn't want that? Mike, let's also take on another question. A lot of people are going to, probably no matter what we say, be reluctant to inbox people. They like the idea of I'll just make a generic post on social media and hope someone begs me for it. I'm not opposed to that at all, by the way. But you're going to go a little slower if you only do that. And I have my philosophy on what kind of stuff I would post on social media before. I've been banned for years, but I know what I used to do and how I do it. And I'm trying to help my friends and family teach them how to do it. What is your advice? What kind of posts do you think are good on social media, and how frequently, and kind of what do you say? And are you putting like buy my link now today, or what, what kind of stuff are you putting on there for people?
With my Facebook, I'll give you an example. Facebook, it's pretty much the majority of it is just family stuff. Like I try not to clog my feed with join my deal, join my deal, join my deal.
Right.
Like as an example, I did put a clip from our video yesterday and just said something. I did post not too long ago a screenshot of a wedding, just kind of saying, hey, just tossing it out there, that kind of thing. I mean, I don't have a problem with doing stuff like that because I have a personal profile and then I have a business page. The business page, the Mike Healy business page, I don't care what I load on that because that's just, and most of that people don't even see it hardly anymore anyhow because of the algorithms. If you're not paying for business pages, you're not getting them. Now TikTok, I just throw videos on there, like video clips. Like you could take your phone like this and just record your screen and say, right now I'm making this many tokens a day and here's the price, and you filmed it like that. And somebody's going to see it and probably reach out to you, put a little contact info, and you do stuff like that. Here's the thing. I do post stuff out there because I know people do watch and they may not comment or like. Like I'm kind of one of those stealth guys myself. Like I scroll through and I don't hit like on everything or whatever, because whatever, right? Or comment. But I'm on there and I see what they're into, and I've seen some of it multiple times. So I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. But I can't take a chance of attraction marketing making me rich. Attraction marketing to me is I called somebody on Facebook Messenger and left them an audio like you saw me do at the beginning of this call. Like that's how I build the business, period. That's my number one approach. Now, if you have an email list established already or good contacts, don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. Now, I used to always call somebody and ask permission to send them an email. This is how I built a lot of businesses. What I'd call them up, say, hey, I know you're busy. I'm not going to take up any of your time. I just was asking permission if I could send you an email, and it worked great. Everybody said yes. Like I had one person out of probably 20,000 say no, and everybody would say yes. And I would just send them say, hey, in the video or in the email, it would say something like, hey, really appreciate you. Let me send you this. Just found out about this crypto project. Here's a video to check it out. If you like it, great. Ask me questions. If not, no big deal. And I did that all day. That was my daily method of operation. In one company, I mean, and every company for years, that was all I did. Was I made a phone call, asked permission, send them an email. Now I do have because I've gone a little farther in marketing. I mean, I've got opt-in lists, so it's okay to just blindly send them stuff because they've opted in to get information about trainings and opportunities. But it's still, it gets lost in most messages do get lost in their inbox, especially if you just send it to them randomly. The thing that I do like is you can leave audio texts, not talk to text, where it's just reading.
Audio.
But actual audio is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because It's more important to be enthusiastic in the sound of your song than it is the words you say, but maybe just leave a little curiosity of saying, hey, you know, I mean, you don't even have to leave any curiosity. You can say, hey, this thing's amazing. I got into it. My buddy's here. I'm going to attach a screenshot of the growth of this thing. Let me know. I think they predicted it's going to hit $16. Off it goes. Again, 10 of those a day, and you'll have people join. It is impossible not to, because it's impossible not to, because this is too good of an idea. This is too good of an idea for everybody that you talk to say no. It's impossible.
I just thought of your song metaphor. I've heard you say it in other trainings before, but I like it a lot. But I just thought of like maybe when we can add to a little tweak to it. You want to be the drunk person singing Sweet Caroline that has no friggin' idea what the words are, right?
100%. Right. And I promise you, somebody's going to go, he might have drunk texted me, but he seemed fired up. I got to figure out what he's into.
I got to check this out. I got to check this out. I got FOMO. I got to check it out. Hey, Mike, I wasn't going to ask you this, but you know, it's a conversation you and I have had over the last couple of years. Like, we're not TikTok. We're not the main demographic. I've avoided it. You got me second thinking it. What maybe that is an unexplored venue for some people. Just maybe succinctly, like, there's a lot of friggin' traffic on there, even if you don't have a big list, right? That might be a good untapped venue. And for those concerned about privacy, do it on an old phone or a burner phone or whatever. But you can get a lot of traction with no list on there, right? Like, it's not like Facebook. A couple comments on that.
No, I mean, again, I got a business with a friend of mine, Rick. He's out of Atlanta. We have a company together, and one of the things we just call it making noise. Like, I don't care what we put out, or a lot of times when people put stuff out, the algorithms, people don't understand how genius the algorithms. It's scary, obviously, and I know I'm talking to the right person here, Terry, about that.
Yeah,
but the algorithms will figure out what you just said, like in a video that you post on TikTok, and they'll transcribe it in the computer world, and they'll target the people that language is being used to properly. So literally, the systems do it for you. It's insane. Like, I can upload a video onto my YouTube channel, and I have software that I use in marketing that will tell me, without me even giving it the title, it will give me a relevant, hyper-targeted title in the video without me doing it.
No extra software. You're just saying you upload it to the platform natively. You don't have to learn all those things. Like, remember, you used to do like tags on YouTube, on Google AdWords, on that. You don't have to do any of that stuff.
I do it.
Okay.
But I use, there's a free software called vidIQ, vidIQ.com, that just is kind of like a add-on on your Chrome. And when I pull up my YouTube, it'll if I upload one, it'll give me suggested titles, it suggests keywords, all that stuff. It's vidIQ, vidIQ. I can always go. We maybe sometime down the road, I'll do a high-level marketing training for you guys.
Yeah, we could do that. But also on the TikTok platform, you're saying a lot of this stuff happens natively on the platform.
Yeah, with TikTok, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to. I literally don't hashtag anything. I just upload a video, and then what'll happen is it'll start to feed to people, you know. And if you just keep putting stuff out, eventually maybe one will resonate with somebody, and all of a sudden it goes viral. YouTube Shorts are spectacular. Like, YouTube's trying to compete with TikTok. So if you may use some YouTube Shorts, or if you had a long video and you liked it, and you don't have to be fancy at all. You can take something that Bobby said on a live, take your phone, stick it at the screen, record it for 3 minutes, turn the phone towards you and go, "Oh my gosh, can you believe that?" And then post it on TikTok, and then post it on your YouTube. I mean, YouTube's free, right? YouTube's free. And I
mean, even simple things, right? Like an article about how dominant crypto is, right? And at the end of it, are you set up to win, kind of thing. It's just an article. It's not a buy my link. It's not even about the brand. It's not about any of that stuff. It's just that just piques interest like crazy. The idea that Bitcoin just went above Amazon and Google rattles my cage, right? Like, that's cage rattling. You just got to post stuff like this to people, and they're like, "Oh my God, I'm missing out. I'm asleep at the wheel. I missed out on the whole damn thing." And you're like, what if it's not too late?
And,
Right?
it's not even remotely close. Like, we're not in the ground floor. We're in the basement still of this thing. I mean, really. And there will be people that wake up and they're going to cry because they saw you and their self-imposed fear and doubt held them back. Like, I mean, from my bar business days, it's probably why I'm successful in business, because I was like head of security down at Ohio State campus. Even though I'm short, pretty stocky, I was way back then. As head of security, I was the first guy that had to go through the door. You know what I mean? I mean, it's literally like that was my job. And it was like, you just didn't know what was on the other side. So if you get used to that after a while, it's still scary every time because you don't know what's on the other side or how many guys are there or stuff like that. But it's the same thing in business. Like I said earlier, it's your major success is on the other side of your getting out of your comfort zone, you know, learning to be uncomfortable and just doing what you can and not caring what people think. You know, the way I always addressed it was, if you ain't paying my bills, I don't care what you think.
100% what I tell people. The other people's opinions don't pay your bills. They don't.
They don't. They don't. And most of the time, Billy Bob Broken Poor, who's got his ideas and his financial literacy IQ is Zippo, is the one barking the most.
Yeah,
typically the people that are most, they're the ones that give you they're the ones that give you the hardest time. And it's like, and so I don't answer them. I don't sit and debate. You never win a debate. You never win a debate, because if somebody doesn't have a why and see it as a vehicle that they want to do, why badger and beg them, the killer bees, why badger and beg them to do that? This is not Weekend at Bernie's where you got to drag a dead body across the thing. The other thing too is, don't you dare pave your friends and family's way into this thing because they need the money. They need the money because they won't get their lazy butts off their can and go do something and make some money. They won't go read the book. They won't go listen to an audio. They won't listen to a podcast.
They won't watch this.
They won't watch this on how to make themselves better. It's facts of life. People are soft. Quit being a sissy. Stuff is hard. Life is rough. Well, I'm not having fun every day. Well, you ain't having fun every day anyhow. So get over it and go do something.
Where's Art Williams when you need him?
Oh, love it. Go to my YouTube channel and type in all you can do is all you can do. Art Williams' 30-minute speech of Just Do It, or just type in Just Do It, Art Williams.
Even his 5-minute one's awesome.
The 30-minute one will grab you and shake you to reality. It is so good.
Post
so
that
good.
In Telegram after, Mike, the 30-minute one. I've always been sharing the 5-minute one for years, but hey,
so
Mike, should we tell them the story about the time Andre the Giant was drunk at the bar and you went flying through the door first?
No, that didn't happen. That wasn't me.
Oh,
that wasn't me. I have gone through some doors, so not willingly.
Yeah. I know we're coming up in the hour. I don't want to drag it out long, and I don't want to take up more of your time or anyone else's. But what's your closing message to the people who are just sitting on the fence and they're stuck, but they're in their like analysis paralysis? They've got a bunch of these little weird stories in their head about why their friends won't like it, or their family won't like it, or maybe they won't call them tomorrow, or maybe they don't make it. By the way, I never believe when anybody tells me they don't want to make more money. I don't believe it. I disregard what they say and I just follow up anyway. I don't believe any of that.
Hey, say it louder for the guys in the back.
Yeah, I don't listen to that nonsense. I don't hear it. It's like, until someone really tells me they don't want to, they're like, I don't know about making more money business. Please. You know how many times people said basically no, and then 72 hours later or 7 weeks later, they're the biggest builder you have. I mean, it just happens all the time. What are some of your thoughts, Mike, for those who are just stuck in their head and they're watching the train go by? Like, I don't know what else other than suck it up and watch Art Williams.
Sometimes it doesn't hurt to take a life assessment, I guess you could say. I have to do it on a regular basis. I think everybody needs to, where you're like, am I where I want to be? That kind of thing. I luckily I have a wife. I'm blessed to have a wife that is frugal. I'm not allowed to call her cheap, but she's very frugal, right?
She loves to travel.
loves a deal. Like if it's not a deal, I shouldn't be buying it, right? Did you use your app when you bought Chipotle, Michael? Yes, I did, honey. I used it. I got my points so I can get my free chips later. Okay. But that's good because I would probably be in a poorhouse. But the thing is learn. I mean, if you really want, to me, it's not about the money. The goal is about the freedom.
Yes.
So I think a lot of people have forgotten that. It's just conditioned into people's minds of a nonstop 9 to 5 grind of their daily lives and their jobs and over. And they joke about being on the treadmill, but they never decide to figure out a way to step off of it. I was just constantly joking about it. Like you will, as an entrepreneur, it is the dumbest thing you can possibly engage in trying to be an entrepreneur because it's so hard, but it's so worth it. Like, and I've always tried to keep, and back to my frugal wife, we've always tried to keep our expenses low, so we don't need that big of a nut. You know what I mean? To do what we wanted to do. It's not like I have a big overhead. Like some people, they got to make astronomical amounts of money because when they make $10,000, when they make 10, for some reason they're spending 11. And then when they all of a sudden their income goes to 15, they're spending 20. It doesn't make any sense where you should be, so to me, that's long-winded on that, is I like the freedom of owning my life. Like throughout my career, so my kids are all in their low to mid 20s. I did not miss anything.
Right.
We homeschooled our kids. I didn't miss anything. I watched almost all their practices. I would sit on the sidelines of the boys' football practices and make that phone call I just explained to you. I'd have my little pad of paper. I'd be watching them practice football in Pee-wees, and I'd make phone calls. Can I send you an email? Write the name down and follow up on this date. And I'd do that for 2 hours while they played that. So I'd obviously make like 20, 30, 50 phone calls. I did it for years. I watched all their practices. I went to all their football games. I didn't miss anything. I see my wife every single day. Stacy's here with me every day. We see each other every day. We still like each other. I had my anniversary Sunday. It was 29 years. Semi likes me, but it's you know what I mean? So to me, it's just what your life choices are, I guess. And it's just if your why is big enough, you'll go make whatever it is happen. This just seems to be a decent vehicle to achieve those goals. It might not be for some people. This might go over your head. This might not be something you want to do. I hate crypto, whatever it might be. That's fine. Just take the heart of going to figure something out that you can own your life with. That's to me, that's it. And if you got little kids, you get it. You get it, right? Being an empty nester is freaking awesome. You know what I mean? Like as soon as my boys moved out, big eating boys, my income went way up, right? Because they're expensive. I eat a lot and they eat a lot. So, to me, that's it. It's just identify what you really want in life and then find the vehicle that gets you there. This one just seems to be exciting and in the right place. Like this is where things are moving. People are like, I'm old enough. I'm 57. I'm old enough to remember that when the internet really started to become a thing and there was people that poo-pooed it. And I'm like, I think this thing makes sense and it might stick around. I better figure it out. Right. Crypto makes sense. Crypto makes sense for people and it's not going away. I mean, it's now becoming more and more mainstream. Bitcoin's breaking records today or something like that. I mean, if you don't figure this out now, you're just, if you don't figure it out, you're going to get run over by this train. Facts.
So Jim Rohn used to always say, my final thoughts, last question. Jim Rohn used to always talk about a ratio will appear, and speaking of ratios, in my experience here, it's almost everybody who says yes and gets it. There's a few people that take a little longer. That's just the difference between early adopters and laggards. Like, don't confuse that someone is not interested because they didn't sign up on day one. Like, get that out of your head. That's just not the way that it works for most people. There are quick early adopters, and that's fine. Mike, what would you say? Would you agree with this statement? given the offer that's on the table, given the peak of interest and how appealing that chart is, for example, like you said, using that example, if someone just shaking and trembling got themselves into even in a comedy mode and sent 5 voice texts to 5 people and just said, hey, maybe I'm just crazy and I'm just joking, or however, right? If they were trembling at the knees and I send 5 of those texts, what are the odds that a few of those 5 probably are going to say yes? I mean, wouldn't you agree? Isn't that been your experience so far?
I concur. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, again, can't say the wrong thing to the right person. Activity matters most. Embrace the process, become process focused versus outcome focused, and reward yourself when you get that done. Like I'll tell my wife, said, hey, I made 10 contacts today, and she'll just praise me for it. Right. Like that's how we celebrate. Like if I did 10 contacts and I want to go treat myself at Chipotle, I will go treat myself at Chipotle because I did that. I know that it's going to pay off. And that's just how I've approached it. And I don't do anything really out of the ordinary. I mean, I know a lot of people, just because I can do a lot of internet stuff does not mean that I'm not doing the practical principle things that I know work. I'm just we can now use technology to speed the process up. I can text somebody. We used to have to drive to go sit down with somebody to do a one-on-one presentation.
Hotel meetings.
I mean, I literally have done thousands of those and thousands of home meetings. Like I have done it over the years. I did it all.
But you don't any longer.
I don't. It's just more efficient for me to do this or Zooms. Like if a bunch of people wanted to get on a Zoom and talk to some people, that's cool. I can do it in the middle of the afternoon. I could do it. Nobody has to leave. I mean, and I mean, even during, like, if you guys remember during the pandemic, I made a butt ton of money because I was already tech savvy. I'd cater to everybody, to train everybody to be doing Zooms and everything online. So the company I was with at that time, they went into the majority of people's incomes went in the tank because all they were.
You still hear me, Mike? But do you still hear me by any chance? Is it me?
Sorry about that. I don't know if you guys are still on here. there's a storm going through, and I think it just I think it cut us out. So I might be live still. So sorry about that pause if you were waiting around. I don't know. I think Terry might have jumped off. But we were done. Hopefully you guys got a lot out of this. Do appreciate your time and attention. Feel free to put some what do you call it, some comments below it if you don't mind, and really appreciate you guys out here. And if you, even if you're watching a replay, you can put comments down there, maybe questions or topics you'd like to see us cover. I'd love to do that anyhow. So thanks again, and we'll see you on the other ones. Appreciate it.